Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and more news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, I assume. I don't know, I wasn't there, but this was also posted to Daily MTG. So Mark Rosewater wrote this article, and shocker, he states that he is unbelievably excited. It's the best set ever in the history of Magic, and he's been looking forward to it since before he was born, or something like that. Just once I'd like to see Mark say, no, this next set's just kind of blah, just kind of vanilla, I'm not that excited about it. So the new plane is called Eldraine, and the set is called Throne of Eldraine. Oh boy. And I feared that it was going to be some foresty, hipster, Feywild crap, but nope. I was kind of close, though. And hey, remember Will and whoever from Battlebond, the brother and sister twins or whatever? Hey, it's their home plane, woohoo. Which, okay, why were they dressed like 1990s American gladiators? I mean, the guy looked like he just walked out of a Wham music video recording. Well, don't forget to wake me up before you go to the plane of Eldraine. So Mark is saying that Throne of Eldraine is going to be, quote, Camelot meets Grimm's fairy tales. The plane is a high fantasy medieval world filled with knights and castles along with Magic's take on the genre of fairy tales. And several years ago, when they probably would have been planning this set, this kind of stuff was really hot on television. You had shows on ABC, I think NBC, I think some cable news networks. And they're all fairy tale based. They're all, the old Grimm stories. Except, oh my gosh, the one that I watched, and you really couldn't watch both, you'd be way too confused. It was just a soap opera. I think Rumpelstiltskin's son was like Robin Hood or something. It was really weird. It kind of just evolved into sci-fi, and like I'm into that. It was pretty good. And okay, it was popular then it fell off. But are we ready to come back around to that again? I think with the Magic community, yes. I think classic fairy tales, but put into the game that we already love, you kind of can't have that poorly received. Now that said, we all know that Wizards just is incapable of thinking up anything new by themselves. Everything has to be copied, usually with, like, ethnically insensitive stereotypes. Like, for example, the Japanese sets where people were like, that's what you think about samurais if you're either 8 or are completely ignorant. That's what stupid Westerners think about Japanese culture, and it's incorrect. Thanks for putting it on a card. And in fact, they've stated, somebody pointed this out, that Liliana is actually Middle Eastern, which is funny because there is no Middle East in the game. I mean, I'm sure if you get out a compass and it works while you're traveling between planes, something's in the middle of the East, but it ain't Saudi Arabia. Then, of course, Amonkhet brought us to the famous Space Egypt. So now at least it's the knowingly, willingly pretend version of, like, 14th century England. But when he says, think Camelot means Grimm's fairy tales, that's literally the lady in the lake handing somebody Excalibur. So apparently Mark doesn't mean, oh, it's loosely based on that kind of a plane, that kind of culture, and then we're going to do something new and interesting. He means we are literally ripping it off. Not just it's kind of like Camelot meets something else mixed together in a blender. It's here's literally Camelot and literally the Lady of the Lake and literally Excalibur. I mean, it could be wrong, but I mean, come on, some kind of spirit being in a lake handing you a sword. I wonder what that could be a reference to. And in fact, this next one, I saw it in 3 seconds later, I was like, okay, Baba Yaga, but those aren't chicken legs. So then I looked at it closer. Oh, it's made out of candy, gingerbread. Come on, that's an actual story. Like, come up with your own damn story. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool to add to MTG, like Excalibur and Hansel and Gretel and witches and stuff. Like, that's neat, but wow, do they just have to rip off something else? They're incapable. I'm convinced at this point. They are incapable of coming up with their own idea. I always point to the example of Oblivion. That's the one that came out before Skyrim for all you kids out there. It's better than Skyrim 2. Fight me, bitch. They had, like, sanity versus order and, like, mania versus depression, and that was the culture, but they kind of got along, and there was some interesting interactions between them, and then the twist at the end was insane, and just the buildings and how the society went together. I mean, I'm sure it was influenced by something, but as far as I know, from what I heard, they just made it up. They just thought this would be a neat story, this would be a neat world, and then they did it. And in fact, I wish Wizards would just kind of take that as inspiration and say, let's do like Law and Order versus chaos and like randomness and almost insanity. I mean, like, really dumb sitcoms where they take like one super, like everything's got to be in order, neat freak person and put them with, a free spirit, crazy, unpredictable person. They could do like 2 parts of a plane or 2 kingdoms versus each other, and then they're both threatened and they handle it in interesting ways and you get interesting mechanics out of it. I wish they would do something just general, but not literally ripped off of a country, a lore, a mythology. I'm going to facepalm so hard if they actually do like Norse mythology as a plane. And I mean, I'm not saying we never had a Frost Giant in the game, but like if they're literally like, oh look, it's definitely not Mjolnir. Oh look, a bunch of Beowulf references. Like, come on. Think of your own story, wizards. So, whatever. I mean, I guess this is just going to be a ripoff of stupid fairy tales, and they're probably going to get sued because they probably don't have permission. As if 500-year-old copyrights haven't worn out, but you can thank Disney for the fact that, no, they probably haven't. Anyway, fairy tales is going to be the theme, I guess. Will Kenrith and Rowan Kenrith are from there, which is fitting because Will looks like a fairy. And if you think those two images are just coincidences, he said it's Magic's twist on beloved fairy tales. So, no, they're basing it on specific fairy tales. I mean, I stated what I think could go wrong with it, what I don't like about it, and what's neat about it, what I do like about it. What do you guys think? What's your overall impression of it? I think at the end of the day, it'll be neat and fun. I think I'm going to like it. I think people are going to like it. Honestly, it could be the worst set ever designed, and at least rotation is going to happen. So there's that. And do you think that it's a coincidence that they put Rowan Kenrith in a hooded cape that you might wear when you're, riding, and it's red? I wonder if they'll make her Little Red Riding Hood. And I bet you Will is going to end up with Excalibur, and he's basically going to be Arthur. He could be Robin Hood, though. Well, there is one more thing I should point out, and this is a pretty mega spoiler, but we've seen these two cards, and this is to show off the new showcase frame versus the new mechanic frame. Oh, look, page-turning fairy tale, haha. But are they going to, because they said it's going to be their twist on fairy tales, just going to flip everything? Because, we've seen movies where they do this. I want to say hoodwinked, maybe, but I don't know. Honestly, a lot of Disney and Pixar stuff lately, it's like, oh, look, that guy was actually the villain, and the villain was actually the good guy. Are they going to pull that with this one? Because we've got Goldilocks here, and the three bears behind her on the wall, and she's a bear trapper who somehow also stabs the bears after trapping them with a sword, it would appear. And there she is with a bear rug and wearing a bear boa, I guess. So is she the villain and she's illegally poaching bears? It's pretty clear, yes. And in fact, that looks like a giant butcher's meat cleaver that she's got in the second one there. So is this going to be what they think their creative take is, but really it's been just done to death almost more than the fairy tales themselves, where, all the good guys are villains and all the villains are good guys, or at least they have a point, or, where they flip it all. Ooh. Bizarro backwards land. That's going to get real tired real quick. It would be kind of funny and gimmicky and dumb enough for an unset, but for a real set, I've seen it. We've seen it. Everybody's seen it. Come on. It could just be a one-card reference, but I think the fact that he said twist on fairy tales, oh boy. Honestly, the Lady of the Lake kind of has an evil vibe in that last artwork, so maybe it's like not Excalibur, it's a cursed sword. Or maybe she gives it to like the bad guy. I don't know. She got that dark, evil mermaid look with creepy eyes instead of like glowing, white, beautiful lady. So that's two references. So you know what? I bet somebody's going to try to burn down a perfectly good witch's candy house and shove her in an oven. Yeah, I highly suspect I'm right. So what would you think of that? Is it bold and interesting, or is it tired and stupid? Let me know your impression, and I'm obviously going to cover the changes to the boosters in the next video, because this was just about the new set reveal. So watch for that in the very near future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.